Happy Mother's Day! I missed you guys. I know I've been in and out. For those of you who are not subscribed to the website, you're not following the Key and Mercy page on Facebook, I would advise you to do so. You may have not saw my face, but I have surely been telling you all my business. I have been blogging, and it's basically been me journaling publicly. Now, I had a couple people that wanted to rake me over the coals for this, and that's fine. I get it. Not everybody has the willingness to share that openly. But I look at it like this: we all have problems with our kids, our jobs, our relationships, our baby daddies, our baby mamas. I'm just okay with being honest about mine publicly. So if you are not subscribed to the website, if you're not following the Key and Mercy page to get those alerts when I do blog, make sure you go back and do that. Make sure you click like and share on this video, because I think I have a little bit of something to actually say today. First of all, let me say this. First and foremost, you only get one mother. One. You do not get to climb in the casket after you disrespected that one woman. I will put it in my will so that they sit you in the back. Do you all hear me? And I'm saying that because I think that there is a certain level of disrespect in the atmosphere for the black woman overall. We've got to bring that in a notch, y'all. Because if you don't respect mama, your kid not gonna respect mama. Okay. And the other thing is that there are a number of women today who are struggling with this day, and they're going to struggle with this day every year. Women and men, let me say that, that have lost their mother. Their mother has left here too soon. I want you all to find that person. Make sure you reach out to them. Tell them you love them today. Just acknowledge them today because this is a hard day for them, okay? And if you're that person that did lose your mother too soon, I want you to talk to her today. She hear you, okay? I do have a little something to say because I'm seeing that in the 40s and 50s, there's a level of increased anger happening. And I noticed it because some of how people are dealing with this anger has been a little shocking to me. It's left me with no words. I'm not here to help you, but I do try to encourage. And when you don't have any encouraging words for how somebody feels, about childhood issues, it's disturbing. So I came across this man he's 50, and at 50 I'm realizing he's a womanizer. He has physically and verbally abused not just the women in his past but also his daughters, and I'm learning that he really disrespects his mother, and the woman is deceased. So come to find out, all of this stems from the fact that him and his mother never got along from childhood. They always were at each other's throats. They always hated each other. So the fact that he can disrespect his deceased mother says a lot about the relationship he had with his mother. And the anger from his childhood up through him being 50 has increased. And then I came across a woman in her 40s, and I'm talking to her, and she has this level of hatred for her parents that stems from the difference the parents showed in the siblings as they were growing up under one roof. Now, a lot of people say, but you had two parents. Everybody grows up different, though. It could be 5 kids in that house with them 2 parents. Everybody had a different experience. And I'm listening to her experience, and she still has hatred in her parents' heart for the difference that they showed in her and her siblings as they were growing up from childhood through her college years, to the point where she's indecisive when her parents need her on whether or not she should be helping them. And there was another person that I came across in their 40s who is an only child, whose loneliness seems to come out in frustration and rage because they grew up alone all their life. And then they had a child who they then it seems like their assumption of their child is that their child feels the way they felt growing up. So now this person is struggling in relationships because they don't know how to deal with the multitude that may come with a person and their friends and their family. And this person is also assuming that this one child that they do have has got to be feeling what they felt when they were growing up. So there is a level of over attentiveness to the child without really understanding that that child may just have a problem with the parent being overbearing. Why am I saying all of this? Um, I think that sometimes we skip over the opportunity to actually get into a space that can help relieve some of that anger. We create a space for ourselves to sit in the anger. You ever heard somebody say, I just want to be by myself. I don't like people today. Well, instead of you trying to get over the anger, you're actually sitting in it when you make the decision to sit by yourself with those feelings. They don't just go away. And then what happens is what's sitting there bubbling up, the minute one person says something to you, they get the overflow of it. So, what I have realized I do, and this ain't for everybody, I come from a big family, so I have this option. I had a lot going on in my life and everything, and out of nowhere, my auntie calls me and she's like, me and your uncle, I got to put some hot dogs and hamburgers on the grill if you want to come by. I'm thinking to myself, I got a ton of homework, and I'm like, you know what, my house has been chaotic. I'm going to go over there and sit with them and do my homework. So I packed up my laptop and went to my uncle's house. And I want you all to listen to me, because what I'm getting ready to give you is not chaos. What I'm getting ready to describe to you is how I took in the room. Some of you all don't know the difference. So I'm there and I'm doing my homework, but my cousin, who's having her first child this year, she's going to be a mother for the first time in her life this year. She's sitting here talking to me, but she is the most hilarious person I've ever talked to. And so I'm doing my homework, but she has me cracking up. Now, right away, I forgot what was going on in my house. I forgot what I was feeling about what was going on in my house, because I'm sitting here doing my homework and laughing at her. I come across two parents that are there, and they're asking me what I'm working on. And as I'm telling them, they get their son on the phone, and they're like, here, tell her what it is that you use to get through your final exam. So now I'm sitting here with a new tool to use, because they sat here and made a phone call to their son to help me get through this exam that I'm sitting here taking. I'm looking at the younger cousins that are coming in with their babies that's not even walking. So happy Mother's Day to you all for the first time this year. My granny comes in and I'm listening to her talk about this level of loneliness that she's enduring. And she's talking about how there just is no one for her. And it resonated with me to the point where I had to take a mental note that, okay, every time you cook, just take her something to eat, because that's your lane. Everybody should know their lane in their relationship with people. My granny looks for me to bring her food and sit and eat with her. That's what I do. So I thought about it and I was like, you've allowed the house to consume you too much. You hear her cry. Make sure you take heed to what you just heard her say, because she said it. A lot of times we skip over that cry for help. She didn't have to tell me she's been lonely and how she's feeling. She did. That's my cue. My kids come in a little later. My uncle is across the street fixing up my granny's house because he wants to present it to her today on Mother's Day. And my kids come in and I was like, y'all want to go see what your uncle been over there working on? I close the laptop. I take my kids over there. Is it okay to safe the walk? He's like, yeah, come in. We go in, we look around and everything. My kids like, this is beautiful. All this happened because I made a logical decision to come out of my house, which is seeming chaotic to me. I came out of the anger I had been feeling. I made a logical decision to do this. If it's happening in my house, let me leave my house and go somewhere else where the atmosphere is different. Sometimes we have to create a shift ourselves. But you have to take ownership of how it is that you're feeling in that moment. And no, a change is necessary. I know change is uncomfortable, but there are going to be certain instances where change is necessary. You have to create the shift in you that says, I got to create a separate space for myself. I don't care if you get up and go to the local bar and converse with the bartender and the person sitting next to you. You came out of that den of loneliness and you went somewhere else and you talked to someone different. But you have to create that shift. If you make a logical decision to sit in your anger, then I want you to understand that when that becomes habitual for you to do that, you're not going to be able to maintain relationships with your children, the people at work, or a man or a woman for that matter. You're not going to be able to adequately be able to parent. I know it don't come with a handbook, but at the same time, you have to be able to converse with people and not bring what you're angry about into every conversation. I'm just saying. Because what I was hearing was, You're still mad about what you went through in your childhood. And you're running around here spewing this venom on everybody that you come into contact with. And I was listening to Bishop T.D. Jakes. I got his book, Disruptive Thinking. I was listening to him as he was describing some of the chapters in the book. And what he said was, people suggest that you go to therapy. He said, and some people don't have the money to go to therapy, the insurance, whatever the case may be. He said, but they ain't going to church either. So my thought is, so how are they getting help? And they know they still angry about certain things. You all have got to create a shift. First, you got to take ownership, because a lot of you all are sitting here saying, I know I need to talk to somebody, and then you don't make a move to go talk to nobody. Stop saying, I know I need to talk to somebody, because in between you admitting you need to talk to somebody, you done already hurt somebody. I want you all to take ownership of the things that you know are wrong with you on the inside and find a different atmosphere. Find someone to talk to. Find a church home. Stop putting your anger off on other people, because what happens is those people you putting it off on, if they don't know no better, they'll internalize how you're treating them. And now all of a sudden you got a whole nother problem with someone you weren't meaning to hurt, because we'll internalize something that somebody else is doing or saying to us, and it was never even about us. I know you all know what that looks like. And some of you are quick, because you haven't dealt with your own demons. Some of you are quick to turn around and say, no, so-and-so said X, Y, Z to me and I don't appreciate it. It wasn't even about you. They woke up with something else on their mind. And it just so happens that the war they were trying to start, you stepped up to the plate. Not intentionally. It just happens. Okay. So I want you all to understand, this is the time for you all to go and get help. And I say that because when you think about the people that have lost their mother and they can't have a conversation with their mother, it's a whole lot of people who, when they lose someone, when they endure death, and I'm trying not to be emotional when I talk about this, when they endure death, what ends up happening is they start to feel as though they don't have anyone. We have got to do a better job about reaching for those same people that are willing to sit in that anger because they feel as though they don't have anyone. Reach for them. Let them know they're not alone. You here. I don't care if you got to drop something off on their doorstep. Ring the doorbell and run off. I was just thinking about you. They may not want to be bothered, and I get that. We all have those moments. What I'm saying is, don't sit in that. Because the minute you come outside your house with that cloud of anger around you, what you're doing is covering everybody else with it. Okay? I love you all. Happy Mother's Day. And let's remember to love on each other.